All right, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Jacco VanSeumeren from the library, and this evening I will be going into 3 important questions. What, where, and how. I will be talking about what kind of information you need for your own research, where to find it, and third, how to use it in your own writing. We'll start with what? The first thing you need is high-quality academic research. That's the basis for all your own writings. Where? You find it in our main portal, Swisscovery. Important, when you search, look for the box peer-reviewed. That will mean that there is quality control. A group of experts will check the academic standard of a publication, and only if it meets very high criteria, it will be published. You can also look at Google Scholar, or you can use AI like ChatGPT for searching academic literature. However, be careful. The quality control is not very good in these with these 2 methods. 2 problems. Predatory journals, those are journals that pretend to have a peer review process, but they don't really have one. We estimate that Google Scholar now has about 40% of the results in economics made up of predatory journal articles. So, not high quality. With AI, the problem is hallucinations. The AI will see a name of an author here and what looks like the title of a paper there, and it says, hey, I found a new publication. There it is. So, if you use AI or Google Scholar, always check in Swisscovery to see if it pops up there, to see if they're legit. Yeah? How? How can you use this information in your own writing? Now remember, this is about theory mainly, the main theoretical argument. So you use it for your own theoretical framework as well. Usually academic papers are not suited for concrete examples and cases. If you're writing a paper on outsourcing of R&D in the pharmaceutical sector, it's a particular case, and you're very lucky if you're going to find an academic paper on that particular subject. However, there are lots of academic papers on outsourcing of R&D. So that's where you get your theory, and you have to apply it to a particular case. Peer-reviewed journals are not very good for analyzing current events, and that has to do with the peer review process. It takes usually 2 to 3 years to get a paper published in a peer-reviewed journal. So if you're writing on, say, campaign financing of the current elections in the United States, you won't find it here. What you do find is general information on campaign financing, stuff that happened in the past, and then you have to apply it on the current situation. Back to what? What other kind of information do you need? For instance, analysis, reports on examples and cases. The particular concrete information that was lacking earlier. Where? You can find them in newspapers, magazines. We have a huge database called Factiva, where you can search for certain topics. Industry reports and market analysis. A lot of commercial reports made for companies, that we can use them as well, and they specialize in what's happening on an industry basis or in a market. For instance, if you're looking for what's going to happen in the pharmaceutical industry, when you're talking about outsourcing from R&D, you can find them here. How can you use it? Use this information for examples, not for your theory, but for illustrations. Also for applications of the theory to particular cases, like the pharmaceutical industry, or to contemporary affairs, because in newspapers you find tons of stuff on campaign financing in the US elections and maybe what Elon Musk is doing there. Also, you can extrapolate these arguments into the future and check what the implications of certain movements are for the future, and you can do that with these industry databases. Third kind of information. What else do you need? Information on issues that are politically relevant. Where do you find those? You find them on the internet. Stuff that's politically relevant is for free and is open because people are interested to get this research out into the open. Also, a lot of public research is open because it's publicly funded. Now, where do you start looking? International organizations, just a couple of examples, World Bank, OECD. Public institutions, don't forget those. Almost all the government ministries, central banks, Bundesamt, EU, very large too, all their research is online. Thirdly, research institutes, think tanks. There are an awful lot of those out in the world. Just a couple of examples again. In Switzerland, Avenir Suisse, Germany, Friedrich Ebert, internationally important Center for International Strategic Studies, etc., etc., etc. All their research is online and mainly focused on current affairs, political affairs. So exactly, again, those things that you were missing out on in the theoretical peer-reviewed journals. Keep in mind, though, that a lot of these think tanks and research institutes have a political agenda. They have an ideological orientation. So make sure you know what those are before you start using them. How? Again, use this information for applying theory to current affairs. American elections would be an example, giving more examples. And thirdly, very important, these are primary sources for policy statements. So if you want to write about Swiss national policy on energy, don't use the NZZ. Go to the Bundesamt für Energie, and it will describe exactly what the policy for the next 30 years in Switzerland is. And that's, of course, the primary source. Okay, that was the presentation. Thanks. Good luck. Any questions afterwards?